move them from one program to another. So secondly, the second year of the international business is 100% in apprenticeship. It's in French, we call it alternance. That means the student will have to find a company that will hire the student to pay for his course, and then he works at the same time. That means it's a partial study and partial work, which is certainly interesting for most of the international students, and I'm sure everybody would love to. But the problem is that if the student is not here in Paris, or not, they are not in France, the companies do not hire students. First, the level of French is important for them. I do not know how many students from India coming do have a certain level of French. And secondly, the company would want students to be here on the campus, so that there's a whole procedure so that the company can fund them to study and work at the same time. So these are the two criteria which is difficult for international students. And whenever we try to explain this to the student, they feel that they cannot apply. Again, I repeat, they can certainly apply, but they have to know these are the clause. If after 1 year, he does the option of coming semester here, he takes a visa, goes in semesters somewhere else. But then the second year, if he doesn't get an alternance, an apprenticeship, a company to hire, then he jeopardizes his master degree. And he cannot pay full. Okay, I have money, I'll pay full and I'll do this. This doesn't exist. So, and at the end, the student doesn't get the diploma. So this is the maximum information I prefer international students to be given for the program Grande École. But yeah, there are some students coming from Pondicherry. We have seen that they already speak French. They have some family members here, or they have their company here, and they are okay with this, you know, how do you go, the clauses. So we accept them. But as I mentioned, if the students are thorough, if they are okay with that and they know what they are doing, we will accept it for the international business. The other two programs, the luxury and fashion and the financial risk management, these two programs are 100% in apprenticeship, both the years. That means from the first year, even before the student arrives to France, they will have to look for a company to finance them. So I think that will again be difficult. As I said, they are not here, they will not find a company. Unless they find a company located in India and finds a company who's willing to hire him, he can study and work at the same time, because the contract of apprenticeship has to be given before they enroll. That's the difficult part for the international student. But however, these are the three programs under program Grande École that are delivered in English, and international student might question you all. So that's all about the program Grande École, if I have to explain. So as you can see, yeah, these are the specialization they had. So these are all, rest of them are all in French, except I said luxury and brand management. This is in English. Then we have the financial and risk management, yes, and the international business. As you can see in my presentation, where it's written EN, small EN, that are only delivered in English. EN, EN, EN. So these are the ones which are 100% in English, keeping the options for student. Then I will not take much time here. Career prospects, like what the students can do. Well, if they are in any from a management background, certainly there are much more to do. I will always suggest, I don't know if you give the idea to the international students or not, because I do a direct recruitment as well. I have a set of team who do direct recruitment. That means we call students directly and enroll them in our programs. But what we try to be with them is as transparent as possible, because the students come with lots of hope. They took a lot of loan and they end up coming here frustrated. The program doesn't fit them and they get most of the information very late. Then we feel bad at our side that this information was not passed. And this is one of the reasons why we brought the department here instead of Studialis, because we were realizing students who are sent from the agents, the partners who arrive here, do not have full information. And the idea behind this webinar for me also is that I can give you the maximum information I have, so that what I am giving to my direct recruitment students is what you can give it to the students you're recruiting, and I could trust on, so that tomorrow I have a student coming from, I know, joining campus have sent, I know, oh yeah, they have the full information. And there is always something missing for sure, but I will be the point of contact, and I would always suggest you to do not hesitate to write to me. Avni can share my email address if she wants. I don't know how it works to answer your questions if ever anything different comes up. Okay. Coming to the program, we have the first year, second year, third year. This is again the program Grande École. third year specialization, which was already, as I mentioned, this was the same thing written over there. The one in English, the one written here is EE. So there are only 3 programs which are delivered in English. Entry to the working life. Well, I will not give dreams to international students, especially students coming from India, because I am Indian myself, to be honest. I would like to be always honest and clear with them. A certain level of French is always required. I'm here for last 11 years, and I know the experience, what I have been through, and I like to pass on the same to them. So even if they think the company will give placements, the company is going to have, no such company really goes to a student and gives the job. We have job dating taking place here. We have companies coming here and doing their, how do you call it, kind of a salon, what do you call it in English? Their presentation, they come here, the booth, we have booth, but then they still advertise or they speak with the candidate in French. They expect a certain level of communication. So of course, not 100%, but then if a student's a bit of, how do you call it, a basics level of French, if they already knew how to introduce themselves, is always advisable for student coming to France, which I don't think many school will say this and not many companies would say. But I think I, being an Indian myself, I feel that I would like to give this information to the Indian students. Well, student life in PSB is full of, it's not just about classes. It features on projects, conferences, workshops, internships, work study placements, business tours, etc. So it's not just like we have in India, just the academic. We'll be having semesters, but there are a lot of other curricular things, a lot of workshop and group project to be done in order to receive the master degree or bachelor's degree. So we have a lot of companies wherein our students have gone. As again, I will be very clear. I think if my colleague who is French would have given you this presentation, would not have explained this, but I again explain that a level of French is always required. This is the fact. If a student wants to come and study in Europe, to know the local language is important for them to get hired. So we have, this is for especially for the bachelor students who come here for 3 years bachelor. So we have the associations where they can participate and who organizes a lot of activities, or I would say voluntary work for students to engage. So there is an association, they need to go register themselves. This is basically a student life is what is for. So I would say this presentation is mainly for student. Tailor-made support for maximum employability. Well, again, as I mentioned, we do have a department, the career department, which takes students or which allows students to know about the recent job affairs that we have and recent companies which has contacted us. But then the student will have to do the networking. The student will have to go and meet the certain department, change their CV. Student expects they will just sit and they'll get it. Doesn't work in France. They basically will have to approach. And definitely, if they want to change their CV from English to French, because it's always helpful for them. I'm not giving this entire detail to you is because basically for you, it's not, you're not students. So it makes no sense that I explain more in detail. My whole idea would be what the program is giving us. That's why I'm trying to shorten this part of our webinar, and I will concentrate more on your questions that you get on day-to-day basis. So international bachelor's, as you could see, is tailored. It has 4 semesters. Excuse me. 2 semesters per year. So we have 6 semesters altogether. First semester will be on the campus, like a normal student who comes, joins, does the 2 semesters. There'll be semester break. Second semester, second semester, it's mandatory for, no, I think for bachelor's is not mandatory. Students can go 1 year abroad in the second year. But there's the choice, international students who do not want to go because it's extra rent place, extra visa to make. They are not obliged. It's not mandatory for them to go, but then they can still have 1 semester abroad experience in one of our partnered campuses, which you saw we have around 133 partners and more. They can do 1 semester abroad. That's the good part of bachelor's program. And the final year is the year when they do their specialization. Not to forget, I wanted to mention this was not until last year, but from this year on, in bachelor's degree, internship has been made mandatory. So between semester break, student gets a certain period, be it summer, be it if they come for a spring break, they get autumn break. The internship for minimum for 3 months for bachelor's program is mandatory now. So this will be an information that you would like to pass into the students. Application process. Okay, this I'm not going to explain now how we start the application process. Yeah, this is another topic. I just wanted to go mostly on the programs, student experience, student life office, Paris. This is how our campus looks like. Okay, I think it doesn't explain about our MSc program. Where is our MSc program? Just a second. I will take out another one. I think this one is not having the. Sorry, bear with me. It's because we are having different webinar point for students and agents. So there's no mix. So I'm gonna go back to the one I have for the internationals for the program. Where is it? Okay, let me just close it. Sorry, bear with me. Let me just precise on the programs. Tac. It is of last year. The program's names have. How come I don't have any presentation here? That is a bit strange. Visualization. I'm trying to see where is our. Okay, here we are. I don't know how did I miss it. Here you go. So this is about our MSc program. We have 7 MSc programs and 1 MBA. Somehow I have noticed, I'll come back to Deepa also. I've noticed that we do not have a lot of students coming for MBA program from our partners. I don't know why, but this is one of a very attractive program for me as when I do a direct sales, because this program is the only program which is triple accredited. Let me start with MBA first. MBA is the only program, because if you see the triple accreditation, it doesn't go to every program. The school has the triple accreditation, but not every program. Okay. But MBA is one of the program which has all the accreditation. And for a tuition fee of 17,000 euro and triple accredited and AMBA accredited, if you compare with the rest of the schools in France, I think we have the best of offer for the students. The only norm, although I would say admission criteria for MBA, is that the student have to have work experience, minimum of 3 years of work experience, because this is the condition by AMBA. Why this is important is now because for MSc also we will be requiring experience. I will come back to this by end of this session. We have a special notice from Campus Friends, which I will pass it to you. But now that we know that MSc also requires experience and MBA also, and MBA is one of the program that is really rich, one of the program that gives student a methodological experience than a classroom. Okay, and also it's a program similar like MSc that they finishes in 15 months. I will correct myself. There has been error in last year's calendar that our program for the spring intake looked 1 year. This is one of the reasons we also had a lot of visa refusals. But our program, if you see it in total, by the time student graduates, is a 15 months program. It was 15 months from beginning, but then the planning department had always did not put the internship period completely because they wanted to wind it up by 31st December of every year. But this year we made sure that we clear that in our calendar, which I will pass it to Deepa, which you can give it to your partners. Sure. Our programs are 15 months. So suppose student starts in September this year. For MBA, okay, I'll come to MSc. MBA has been decided. Official date is 26th of September. They will come here as orientation day. Their first semester, that means they complete their first semester by end of December. And then they will go to the spring semester, which is in January. They will do their spring semester, and then they are free to look for internship from the 1st of June 2025 until 5th of December 2025. That means they get around 6 months of internship period. And there is no ECTS here. There is no 90, there is no 120 for the MBA. This is why I feel this is a very good program for students who have experience and we don't want to let them go. even if they have an MBA, most of the Indian students have. I said you should always have an international MBA. It's a different experience and exposure of in MBA in Europe than MBA in India, and it is like a top up for them because it's not a 2-year program. To be very precise, student who comes in January intake, this is where the problem starts. Student who comes in spring intake, they are not aware. They always think, or I'm sure most of you are thinking, that they will be having a separate class, and the student who come in fall is separate class. This is not the case. Students basically who come in spring intake merge with the student who have already started the classes in fall. And this is where students who come in spring intake gets a very, very hectic phase. So I as a direct counselor to direct student recruitment, I always advise students to apply for the fall intake. Unless they are ready with all the clause, it makes more sense for every student to start in fall. Firstly, because the academic year in France is always fall. The school starts in fall, the colleges starts in fall. Even my son goes to daycare from fall, that is September. Everything in France, the academic year is fall. So it makes more sense for students to start in fall. Secondly, student who starts in spring, basically they don't have another class, they merge with the student who starts in fall. So what happens for the student in the fall is, he's quite relaxed, he does his first semester, excuse me, and then the spring intake student joins, he does his second semester and he goes in break. But the one who comes in spring, not only that, he has to start with the spring semester first. He will not start with the fall. He will start with the spring semester with the students who already started in September. Then what happens, they will be taking a small break, and they will have to do their fall, they will have to again start their fall intake with the student who will come in 2025. So basically they will have to merge with 2 different batches. They get lost, they kind of lost, they do not have the class bonding, and the whole merging system they do not understand. So this is not clear because they think I'm coming in spring, मैं January में आ रहा हूँ, so okay मेरा तो January का class होगा. No, January का कोई class नहीं, January का class होगा लेकिन with the batch who already started. So at the meantime, the hodgepodge begins, and I have students coming from agents. Mostly this information is not passed. तो बंदा यहाँ हमारा admission office जाके खड़ा हो जाता है कि यार मुझे तो बताया नहीं गया था, मुझे पता नहीं था. I mean, I couldn't get a try. So I always tell the student when I directly recruit, see, this is your choice. आपके चॉइस है, आप जनवरी में स्टार्ट कर सकते हो, you can start in fall also, हमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. But please know it that not only your internship period will be lost, क्योंकि he will do 1 semester, he will have a small break, then again he'll have to come and do the fall again with the fall student break, and then he gets again another 2 months of internship. और ऐसा इंटर्नशिप नहीं होता है जो आपको कोई भी कंपनी के 2 महीने आप करो, फिर जाओ पढ़ने जाओ, फिर 2 महीने जाओ. क्योंकि whenever a company hires an intern, they prefer the student stays as a stretch of 5 months, 4 months. Because most of the internship are paid in France. I don't know if you are aware, any internship which is above 3 months are to be legally paid in France. It's legal. So, but then a company will not say, okay, you come 2 months, then you have your fall semester to do, and then you again start in, फिर 2 महीने बाद, okay, you can go for internship. And then they come asking here, please हमें एक letter दे दीजिए, especially students from agent, एक letter दे दीजिए, my company is asking. And then the school doesn't know this is how it is. So this information I think is very, very important for whether it's MBA or MSc, for the partners to explain to the student, so that we have no problem. We maximum recruit in December, fall, then January, but whoever they come at least should have this information. And thereafter this is a choice. The boy will like, yeah, I don't care, मुझे internship नहीं करना. लेकिन अभी से, since this year, 3 months of internship is mandatory. 3 महीने करना ही पड़ेगा. So the one who comes in spring, he will struggle because 2 महीने करेगा, then again he'll have to start his fall, then again he'll get 2 months. The company will not be able to. And now if you ask me, ये क्यों बनाया आपने, क्यों 3 महीने का mandatory कर दिया, या why this kind of hodgepodge, I have no answer for this. So hopefully अगले साल तक हमारा MSc में थोड़ा और ट्रांसफर होएगा और changes आएंगे, क्योंकि अभी कैंपस फ्रेंड से हमें काफी information मिला है. So we would be making changes, but however I'm talking for this intake, हमारा इस साल का बजट नंबर है, फिगर है, so we have to concentrate for this year. But the story is like this. But I prefer कि आप उन्हें maximum information दे, कह कि you better start now. आप सितंबर में start करें. एक तो you will get good amount of time, then you will get good amount of internship. Internships are paid. This is the academic year, and you graduate, and it's gone. Then starting in January. But however, always students have a choice. This is why I was suggesting MBA, as I mentioned, कि MBA एक program है जो triple accredited है, and for me it has been one of the lucrative program. मेरे end से जो मेरी direct recruitment होती है, I prefer this program, and somehow I have always done good with MBA क्योंकि हमारा number भी होता है for MBA because it's an accredited program, so the school has to make a number of students to keep accreditation. और इतने tuition fee में you will not find elsewhere. You can compare everywhere with an AMBA accreditation. Okay, for the MSc, as you can see, हमारे 3 program के नाम बदल गए हैं इस साल. So one is International Management and Global Leadership, which was International Management. I will just like to rectify, the RNCP has not changed. सिर्फ नाम बदला है. It's a marketing purpose, but then the courses remain same, and the RNCP is still same. So RNCP is basically required for Indian students, especially because they will be asking for APS. After completion, they will apply for renewal of visa, and they have a 2-year stay back option. So this is important. Sustainability and business development, ये पहले था international marketing and business development, same thing. The RNCP stays same. Core courses has been slightly modified, but the concrete part is still same. Okay. Then we have marketing analytics in big data, luxury and fashion. I think ये सब आपको पता ही है. Still I'm repeating because you guys are all well versed. The whole idea of this webinar will be questions from your side. Then we have arts and culture management, hospitality and tourism, purchasing and international finance. ये हमारे main concrete program है. I will take an opportunity क्योंकि शायद मैं जल्दी से आप एक ट्राई करके देखती हूँ, शायद मैं आपके साथ कोई कैलेंडर शेयर करूँ, because what I spoke to you just now about the fall and spring intake will be also clear. Okay, let me see. School calendar, we have just been given yeah, 24. It's in my, sorry, I look so unprepared. क्योंकि computer crack हो रहा है मेरा, so they wanted to change my computer today, so I did whatever was possible. I put everything in my Dropbox, and this is where I think I'm getting crazy. Where is the calendar? School calendar. Okay, I don't know if I can share with you. Yes, here you go. I think these are the things which is more important to share than the presentation, because you already know the programs. Okay, I will come back to MBA. I'll start with MBA. ठीक है? Let me share again. यहाँ पे जाके let me see. यहीं जाके share करना है ना? How do you guys see my screen? No. Do you still see? Or you only see the presentation part?
We can just see the MSc in management presentation part only.
Okay, you're not seeing the calendar, right? Okay,
no.
So I have to click something to get the share, है ना? Honestly, guys, I'm not very pro in all these. So I'm trying to see what I can do. Sharing. This is not sharing. Where did I close it? Okay, let me try again. Here you go. Okay. Now I could get it. Okay. Is it visible now?
Yes, it is, Echchha.
Okay, super. So this, as you can see, I'm just starting with the MBA. So MBA, as you can see, starts from 26. So I will share the school calendar with you, so that's easy for you also to explain. So 23 is written as the date, but this is 23, 24, 25, and 26. The yellow part is the orientation day. So 26 is the orientation day. That means the first day of the program. Okay, so this is what officially been decided. And you can see the program starts from the Monday itself. And this is the whole first semester. That means the students will be doing their first semester until 9th of December. Okay, then this red part is the exams. They will be giving their semester exams. Then there will be break. So this férié means I don't know why it's still in French, even this international program is bank holidays. Okay, whatever férié you see, they are the bank holidays.
Okay.
And then they give their exams, and then they start. So this is the break they have for the fall semester student, and then they will start the second semester with the student who will come in spring, जो कि 28 में. I will share that also with you guys. So these are the exam date, and this is basically जो retake होंगे. Okay, and these are the June férié. यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है, but then you can see it's summer PSB. It's I mean it's explained in this at the bottom, but still trying to explain whatever I can from my side.
Right.
And yellow part was the summer. So this is the summer, the exams. And for me, the student from here, for example, 27th here, basically these are only for the one who have retakes. So for us, student can start, in fact, their internship from this period until 1st 12th, which is first, तो यहाँ है first, so this is
Right.
first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So 5th of December is when they could do the entire internship. Okay.
Okay.
This is the good part for a student who start in fall. It's बहुत प्रिसाइज है. आपने एक सेमेस्टर किया, फिर आपने एग्जाम दिए, फिर आपने दूसरा सेमेस्टर किया, फिर आप ब्रेक, फिर आप
Echchha, I would like to stop you. You can just continue in English language only because we are having sub-agents from other countries
okay.
as well, not just India.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem, no problem. So it's easy for the students that they can start in fall, do one semester for this fall, then they go for a break, an exam, then they start their spring intake, then they give the exam and they go for internship, and before the 5th of December, they will receive an email from the head of the program to come and produce their project, whatever they did the internship, and their thesis, which they will be working alongside their internship period. And this is when we consider the program to be technically over. Okay. So this is basically more for the MBA program, which I'm showing at the moment. Now coming back to another one, that is fall intake. Another one, I will just to make clear to coming from spring. Okay, spring intake. Okay, and now I'm sharing why the student with the spring intake, the same program, but in spring intake. Okay. So as you can see, the spring students starts their program here. Orientation day. For the MBA, they are starting here. Then they will be having their classes. Then they have their break. But the student who will start this particular program here, they are basically merging with the student who completed their fall semester already. So these two classes will be merged.
Right.
There will be one class, okay?
Right.
And they will again they will have their exams. Then they will go for the, how do you call it? They will go for the internship. Then they will again have to come back in the fall intake to finish their fall semester because they did not start in fall. So they will have to come and do the fall semester. So
Okay.
this is where the hodgepodges, they take a small break here in between, then they come back, do their class, and then again they have some time to do their internship. So what happens in one way, they don't get a lot of internship period. They get a very, very small internship period. But now what they tried is doing is they have extended for the student who come in spring, instead of giving them deadline of 5th of December, they have increased the deadline till March. Okay. But they have to remember that they will be merging both the intakes with 2 different academic year. So January intake student is what they will suffer mostly. This I'm precising because we always have problem with student coming from January intake. Now I will again show you okay, I will again show the student of 120 and 90. So I'm just showing 90 for the moment. I think it should be okay for you to roughly understand. 90 is, I think 90 everybody knows. I think the problem is coming with 120 student. Okay, I think this should be okay. So here is the 120. This is, I think, has never been clear. So this is what I wanted to explain, especially for student coming for 120 CTS.
Right.
That 120 students will start this year. The official date has been decided as 3rd of October. Okay, so as you could see, 29 now. This one is September 31st, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3rd and 4th of October is the orientation day for the international student for MSc programs. MBA will start earlier than MSc.
Okay.
And this is the first semester they do with the bank holidays. Then they give their exams. But students with 120 CTS will have to do the 30 CTS that they have missed because they are under the 120 CTS. They will have to complete it here, which is 90 CTS student doesn't have to do. Okay. And this is where, and then the 90 students Oh no, sorry, I think I made a mistake. This is where the second semester, this together they will do the first semester in pink. They give an exam, they take a small break, they do the second semester together, and the 90 CCS students can go on a on a on an internship period from this date. But 120 CTS cannot, because they have to do this summer break. This is this blue one as their 30 CTS extra. So for them, the internship starts from 15th of September for the 120, whereas for the student with 90, they will start the semester in the month of June. So I think there's a gap of 2 to 3 months. This is where the always, I would say, a bit of controversy, or I would say students are always not happy for 120 because they do not have a longer internship period. Also, they have to keep coming to the campus and again do certain ECTS, whereas 90 students can right away do it. But we do not have a choice on this. This is how it is, because this is the ones. I think all the time the calendar was not clear in terms of this. Where is the 120 CTS? You know, this is where it is, and it is considered the third semester for them because they will have an exam for that. So for the 120 CTS, I would say they will have 3 semesters, whereas students with 90 CTS will do only 2 semesters. But the duration of the program does not change. They all graduate at the same time. That means the person will have to wait for all his classmates to finish and provide, and the diploma will be granted at the same time. The duration does not change. Okay, this is where I think we have tried to put this 30 CTS in summer, but it may be intensive for the 120 ECTS student, but the idea is that they all get diploma at the same time. They enter at the same time and they pass at the same time. So I think about the calendar, this is what I would say. I know I have to come back again. I was a bit fast. So I know you will have questions. Maybe better it is you ask me questions, and when I can answer on this one by one. It will be much more easier, I guess. I will let you ask me questions about whatever. I mean, I wouldn't explain much about the program. You know, admission process, you know how it has to go through. We have a platform. I think Deepa already knows how it works. Unless you have a question on it, let me know how I can help you one by one.
Uh, Actually, it's like I had one student, okay, and he inquired about the scholarship or the discount in the fees payment at
Okay.
PSB, and I said that PSB is not offering any scholarships as far as I know, but he told me that he had some conversion with some admissions department at PSB, and they told that if you are having a strong motivation and if you can just prove that on basis of that they are ready to give you scholarships. So, are there any possibilities of scholarship?
Thank you, Deepa, for raising this question. Actually, our website also has this mention that we do provide scholarship. But basically, we always mention to students that it is not, PSB is a private institute. So it is basically not a scholarship to fund the program, but to motivate the students. So we have a certain budget, but based on the academic merits and the number of applications, we give up to 2,000 euros. So it can be 500, it can be 700, it can be 1,000, it can be up to 2,000 for the MSc program and 1,000 for the BBA. It's applicable only for 1 year. If the student gets that amount will be deducted from their total tuition fee. So what happens is, when student applies for my direct recruitment, the student sends us all the documents and he says, I'm interested in a scholarship. Then we ask for a separate letter seeking why he needs scholarship, like as in why the scholarship will help. And then we collect all the documents, and there's a jury every year, twice a year, before 31st of July and before 31st of December for 2 intakes. And then me and my team, like me, I go for direct, and my team, Rudbenia or Judy, will be contacting the students regarding the result, whether they receive an amount or not. Before 31st of July, the fall student will have an answer of the scholarship they've applied. So even if they got 500, we will send a letter saying that congratulations, you have 500. And then the person he will not get a cash amount, but he can deduct it from his tuition fee once he arrives here.
Okay, so like initially while paying the fees, after receiving the acceptance letter, he has to pay the fees of 5,000 euros or maybe the full tuition fees, okay? But like he has to apply for the scholarship and he has to write
Yes,
you, and
yes.
later on it might be deducted from the
If the student
tuition.
receives,
Yeah,
yes,
if the student
absolutely.
receives. It depends
For us,
on the letters which he is providing and like the motivation he is having to apply for that program at PSB, right?
yes, actually, I don't know how it works with the partners, how much amount of that they take from the student, because for me a direct recruitment I take 5,000 for every program. Okay,
Yes,
so
that is
down
the same for us.
same thing, and we
Yes,
say that down payment doesn't change with the scholarship.
exactly. Yeah.
It stays. But if they receive another amount, and because anyway the result is 31st December, the student will not wait until 31st of December to get his
Exactly.
500 euro. But if he
Yeah.
gets an amount, that same letter, he'll have to provide it to us, and we will send it to the accounting department to give him 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 euro deduction from his tuition
Okay,
fee.
fine. Okay, so for the remaining fees, he might get that scholarship. Okay,
Yes, yes. So if
but
they're
depends on the
interested,
jury's decision.
yeah, yes, actually.
Okay, got it.
All
Thanks
we
for
need is a separate letter, like a motivation letter.
exactly.
They ask for a format or a form we don't have. We
Mm-hmm.
only want the student to explain why he needs the scholarship. And we already have his internship, sorry, it's his interview report. So we check his admission report, his
Right.
interview report to see how well he has done.
Yes.
And then his letter, and then he comes back. Okay.
Okay, noted. Thanks for sharing this information. Actually, we were not knowing, so now we will be able to guide the students.
Yeah,
Like
I do. Yeah, we
correct.
have this in the website, so I can understand. And also,
Okay.
students,
Yes.
what they do is they contact us also as a
Yes,
direct recruitment.
exactly. That is
And
what happened with one of my students. That's why I am asking.
yeah, this happen often, I guess. They
Hmm.
like, and they download the brochure with different email addresses.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anybody else have any question? I'm sure the ECTS will be some questions. I'm here to answer. Satish, Anuj, I can see some Pulakon, Amita, Jennifer. No, nobody has any questions that I can.
Hi,
That
good
hi,
afternoon.
Devia. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. May I see you? Like, I'm sorry. It's just.
Sure, why not? Just give me a
It,
minute, please.
thank you.
Is it visible now?
Yeah, very much. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for appearing. It makes me more easier to talk actually. Thank you.
I can understand that. Yeah, so actually I have a question. We are receiving a lot of applications, okay, for PSB, honestly. But the thing is that now we have received a notification for campus runs, which is
Yes,
somehow related with the, student academic scores and of course the age as well. So I wanted to know what is the exit criteria that you guys are accepting about, like, can we accept 54% instead of 55? And also what about the age criteria? What is the last age that we can accept for master students?
for the grades. Okay, I wanted to break this news because I have received the official email this morning itself. I thought I would, but I know it is a very important question because it's affecting our sales a big time. I think this poll is going to be a big hit for us. We have received official email that students who do not have experience, any undergraduate, it is not their credits, how much they have got the merits.
Okay.
Student with no experience, whether it's except masters, whether it's bachelor's 4 or bachelor's 5, cannot apply for our master's program this year, unfortunately. So the management has come to a conclusion that we will be working on the new academic file from next year. Hopefully, I cross my fingers that we have 4 semesters from next year on, because the hitch is about the 3 semesters. And Campus Friends is not accepting it as a master degree. It's accepting as a short diploma. However, it doesn't affect the APS for the ones who are eligible. But the problem for the ones who we are taking at the moment, the fresh graduates with no experience will actually not be considered, or I would say cannot apply for the MSc because it's under short program. Even if we accept from our side, as we mentioned, we do not have, but the problem would be that their visa would be refused, or worse the first, they are not recognizing. If they have no experience, they will not consider their master degree to be recognized, even though it comes from PSB. So this year, for this fall intake, I'm announcing that we will not be accepting any student without experience with bachelor's 3 or bachelor's 4.
But like what about the students who are already accepted, who have already paid the fees?
Yes, that's where the crunch is, Deepa. This is what we had the whole meeting this morning, and we will have to reach out to the student and break this news. I have started already to my direct students. There
Oh,
will be refund given. Yes, yes, yes. So this is going to be a big hit.
oh.
So 120 CCS student, my team is already going through all the CVs now to all the one who has been accepted and the students who have already been enrolled. We have around 22 from altogether from India, from the partners so far who have already paid. And now my team is going through their CVs to check their work experience. And this is a big, it's falling big on us. And this is an official announcement today. And for this intake from today on, no student with experience, we require minimum of 2 years of work experience post graduation, whether it's bachelor's +3, like a bachelor of commerce, whether it's bachelor of engineering or bachelor of dentist, whatever, bachelor, any bachelor's, no matter how many years, they will be under 120 CTS.
Okay.
And they will be required to have the work experience of 2 years. However, students who already have masters, they have no problem. Students who already have masters can apply for our program, and they will be under the 90 CTS program, whether or not they have experience or not. They
Okay.
will be directly in the 90 CTS, and they
So
do
if
not
the
require
students are going for a double master's degree, they can apply without that
Yes.
work experience.
Yes, the only students with bachelor's degree will
Hmm.
whether if it's engineering, they require minimum of 3 years of work experience. And the student who already paid,
Hmm.
we're going to lose some.
And the
So
same is applicable for MBA as well, or MBA 3 years of experience is
this
needed?
this is because for MBA is anyway work experience is mandatory. That's why Campus Friends is not causing problem for the MBA, because it's one of the program where work experience is mandatory anyway from the very beginning.
Yeah, but like 3 years or like 2 years
No,
for MBA?
MBA is 3 years. That's because
3
of
years.
AMBA. Yeah, that's because of AMBA. But for the MSc, I would say for the academic year 24-25, we will be having a bit of
So since it
this.
is like a campus branch requirement, it is will be applicable for all the schools, all master's programs for all the schools, right?
No, yeah, it will be for all the schools who are offering less than 4 semester of masters. Their question is
Okay.
their question is about the semesters. Their question is about
Exactly.
not
Okay.
including the internship. So even though we changed, we said, okay, there are 3 internships. For example, for 120 CTS, there's 3 semesters and an internship. Yet it is not under 4. So basically, they're coming up with the law of what in the French recognition of degree is considered. And under that law, our degree will not be recognized there. And if we are recognizing their degree, because for example, for us in France, if a student has engineering back +4, for example, which is bachelor's, 4 years of
Yes, yes.
bachelor's, in France, it still comes under 3 years of bachelor's.
Oh, yes, yeah, right.
So this is where for the bachelor's 4 and 5 doesn't exist here. No matter how many years of bachelor's you do, as long as it's a bachelor's, it will be under 3 years. Like even an MBBS degree, for example, in India, we have 5 years, will still be a bachelor's degree, it will not be a master's. So this is what the whole exchange with Campus Fair was running for last 2 weeks. And because now it is too late for the academic department to add another semester and make the whole changes to save certain number of
Yes, right.
it is because our campaign has already started and it's April. So that's going to be a big loss for us. But then we have no choice. We have to go through that, because at the end of the day, the student will not get visa as usual. Because if we accept a student, the student goes to Campus Friends. Campus Friends is asking us a letter. Why did we take this 120 student with no experience, and we cannot provide one.
So like now what you will do with the students who have already been accepted and paid the fees with no experience?
Yeah, so now my team is trying to look for first thing, students who are already under 90 CTS, for example, who has experience and who are under 90 will go under 120. They have no choice. So for example, a student have 4 years of bachelor's degree and 2 years of work experience who was under 90 CTS, because that's how it was, will now have to go to 120 CTS, because we are not considering bachelor's 4 and 5 now. And the student who have masters stays same, doesn't change. And the student who do not have any experience will be refunded. Our team is going through that list now. We'll be checking through all the students list whom we can suggest, and they will individually contact, like me, I'm individually contacting the student, and they will individually contact the agent from where the student have come from.
And like even if like if the student is having a 2 years of experience, right? Obviously, the fees would be more than what is
Exactly.
mentioned in the offer letter.
Exactly. Yes. Of course, it will change because if once the student is in 90 and he goes to 120, so 3,000 euro more, and they have taken bank loan and all. Yes,
Oh, it will be tough for us to answer the agents as well.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
Isha, one more question. Like, can we
Yes,
provide
Divya.
any foundation or preparatory program to students who are not having any work experience and fresher as in bachelor? This school is thinking about it.
Unfortunately, nothing. Even internship is not being considered. Even internship, I have students with 2 years of internship, but it is still not considered under work experience. So the problem is, yeah, the problem is, I think I again have to say that it is because of our academic calendar not being precise, not having the 4 semesters is making us going. And then when we discuss with the academic ad, because we are admissions, we are on the sales end. When we go with the academic, they said the campaign already began because for European students they have no problem. It's only because the thing is that for European students the ECTS that counts. It's not the years. But because Indian students do not have ECTS, because we do not follow the European credit transfers. So because it's number of years, Campus France doesn't validate it as a bachelor's degree. Sorry, a master's degree is validating as a short master program. So what happens? What we think is, or what my director was expecting was, what if some students who already got a nod and gets a visa, we fear that she will jeopardize the APS also. You see, so for us, we're trying to avoid the big storm coming, then losing some candidates now, because it's putting everybody in a very tough situation. So we are afraid the student comes and tomorrow the student doesn't get an APS because it's not under a master degree, because it has to be a degree. You see, it's considering as a diploma. Some of them, who suppose last year a student who already got a visa and is coming back again, we are just afraid we do not face it. However, one of Anand, who has
Yes.
a meeting today with Campus Friend Chandigarh, he's in Campus Friend Chandigarh.
Okay.
He will be clearing on this part whether it jeopardizes the APS for the student who already has a visa. Some student who suppose started in spring, fell sick, went back and wants to restart again because his visa is still valid. He can still continue. Will that affect his APS or not? So I'm still waiting for official confirmation from Campus Friends and the French embassy, because it will be French embassy,
Okay.
uh, to give us the answer.
Okay, now can you just like send us a official mail like
For
this is
sure,
what
for
has
sure.
come from the
Yes,
campus plans so that we can also circulate it amongst our
for sure,
agents.
for sure.
And now onwards, like whenever like before submitting the applications, we just have a good check on like whether the student is having a 2 years experience or not before submitting the application.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm?
So basically, the information was given to me this morning when before I started the
No, not
webinar.
an
I
issue. I
received the
will.
email. It will be Anlor, our commercial manager. You are already in touch with her. Anlor will be the one who will be sending out the email to all the agents. If she doesn't do it by tomorrow evening, I will take charge and I'll send it by before
Sure.
end of the Friday.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
certainly, an official email will be circulated explaining the whole situation.
However, with the
Students who
team,
have
I will be circulating this news right now
Okay, yeah,
after the
and
session.
yes, and I took an opportunity to explain now as well,
Yes.
thinking that yeah, I better break the news than to come as a shock. And the students who has to, I know
It has already come as a shock to us.
I can imagine for us, for so many students to get refunded
Exactly. Yeah,
again,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
whole refund, the whole
Mm,
process, the
exactly. Yes.
it's a nightmare already. So at
Obviously.
the moment, the team is working through the whole files. We will try to contact the student to switch them to 120, to ones who agree, because they have no choice. But well, if they don't get a visa, it makes more sense for them to give 3,000 euro more, because there's no choice. They've been accepted. They can come to the program, but instead of 90, they have to pay 3,000 euro more to come to 120. But if they are not agreed and they have constraints, financial, they have bank loan and they want the refund, the school has to provide the refund. So the only thing that we can hope is 2025 is going to bring a different target for us, but this year it's going to fall stiff, especially for Indian students. It's only for India at the moment.
Okay, so from now onwards, like when we are promoting PSB, we need to remove
Yes.
that 90s ETS like fees and all, right? We just need to promote
The 90
120s.
CTS still applicable for all the MSc students who have already masters. Our student has
Yeah, double
masters, he
masters
continues.
is possible. Okay, fine.
Yeah, yeah. If the
Mm-hmm.
student has a master already in India and wants to do a master with us, we have no problem. But if the
90
student,
CTS.
yeah,
Okay,
90
fine.
CTS.
But for 120 CTS, 2 years of experience is must, whether it is 12 plus 3 or 12 plus 4.
Yes, yes.
Okay, same is for MBA, right?
MBA, as I mentioned, MBA has to have 3 years of
Yeah,
managerial
3 years
work
of
experience.
experience. Like, but what if already a student has a master's degree over here? Still experience is needed?
No, for MBA, experience is a must. The bachelor's degree is fine if he has a master's and if he has a 3 years experience. But then bachelor students cannot apply because it's if they don't have experience anyways. If
Okay,
the
fine.
student have a bachelor's degree, for example, 12
Mm-hmm.
plus 3, as you said, and he has additional 3 or 4 years of experience, then we will consider
Okay, fine.
for the MBA.
Noted. Yeah, noted.
Well, this is how it is. I saw some chat messages.
Yes, there are a few questions coming from the
Okay,
agents.
okay. Let me know who. Could you please explain in English? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I used a bit of Hindi thing. I was
No, that's
absolutely.
okay. That's
Yeah, I apologize for that. Please. Then hi, when is the deadline to pay the deposit? Well, we normally give 15 days of deadline to every student, whether it is direct or with us from agent. They all get 15 days of deadline. However, if the student has constraints in terms of loan, they are waiting for certain how do you call extra money from somewhere else, a family member to provide, they can always send out an email to us asking for additional certain days, and we can always give them an extension. But we always tell them it's just it will jeopardize your time for the visa process. However, the campus has no problem. Okay, we can always try to accommodate the student the maximum possible. How many years of years age gap is acceptable? It depends on which program you're talking about. Shushma, I'm not very sure. You wrote how many years of age gap is acceptable. If it is an MBA program, because MBA we are looking for experience. The person can have a lot of years of gap. The student may be having 15 years of work experience. The person may be 50 years of age. We will still accept for MBA. So it all depends which program. Can you precise it, Sushma, which program you're referring to? Then Ramakrishna, he wrote, why are we seeing disconnect between schools and campus friends? Will it be safe for students to offer 2 years of visa approval? Well, you cannot apply for 2 years of visa approval. The France policy is always 1 year. The student always renews the visa when they arrive here. That's how it works. So whichever, even when I got married to a French and I came to France, I only got 1 year of visa. I have to come here, get the social security because you will be under the French health system, the French health security. And thereafter, once you complete, you renew the visa. So student cannot apply for 2 years of visa at all. It's not possible. Okay, so how many maximum backlogs acceptable? Honestly, if the students clears his interview, for us academic the in terms of his merit base, we can at the back office can still adjust. But for us, most of the students, I'll be very frank with you, if we are refusing, is because the person did not clear his interview properly. Either his English level was not good, either he was not professional, either he did not upload the documents required or the video on time. I don't know, Deepa, you're already aware how the system for the agent works.
yes.
The refusal are mostly based on the interviews, the process, second process. The first process, me and our team, we always try, even the minimum 10 we try to give them by checking the score of the motivation letter, by the reference letter. So we are not focusing only on the backlogs because he passed after 2 years. Suppose he did his first 2 years of bachelor's and his final year he gave after 2 years. Doesn't matter if he has, but then if he doesn't clear the interview, if he was not professional in the interview, if his English was not good in this is the one, even if he scores a good number, if he doesn't clear the interview, the student is not accepted. But if the student have a low score at the academic part, but his interview went well, he's always accepted. So please note that it is a sum of total we actually give to the student. For us, the interview, because it's a management program, we are expecting the student to be presentable, professional, have a certain level of English, because we know we are waiving IELTS for many Indian students because their previous education was in English. But then if this doesn't meet the criteria, even though if I'm giving a score, high score, that he did bachelor's of engineering, he has scored, I mean, A plus. But if it didn't match that, we will never accept the student. So for us, try to tell the student, make yourself the best when you're presenting yourself. It's like the APS exam, where how you're presenting yourself scores more. Okay, apart from this. But if the student have a backlog, he had 2 years of gap, these are still considered. We still try to give the minimum possible that the student goes through the interview round. Okay, how many days of classes as the students will have in a week? Okay, sorry, before that, I think I mixed up some question. Okay, you said, why do we have a disconnect between schools and campus friends? The thing is that campus friends is a government body which is working with the embassies. They are scrutinizing every international students that arrive friends. So once they make a decision, the schools have to follow, because it's for us, we do not want to jeopardize the school. But then we cannot right away reply to campus friends, because we have to go through the whole management. A decision is not made like this. You see, it comes from our department to 5 different departments. Like from campus friends, we have been hearing this conversation for the last 2 months, but then the final decision has been made, because there has been a lot of email exchanges and all. So it's a government body. The response is not fast. There are different, especially campus friends in India is huge. There are many different states have. So this is where you will see the disconnect, or the messages come late, or I'm giving you the message today on the 16th of April. Also could also be a reason that the communication is not as fast as expected. Okay, how many maximum backlog acceptable? MSc management. How many maximum backlogs? Well, I would say, well, when you are going through the file, you will know it. Maybe you can copy me, especially when you send a student you're not very sure of, and I will, instead of before it goes to my team, I can verify it and give you the answer right away. If you think that, sometimes you can approach me like that. If you have a hesitation, to Deepa also,
Sure.
you're not sure the student, you can send me a personal email instead of uploading and all. I will get verified, because I know the Indian profile. So at least I will know it before the student, I don't know, he has a constraint of paying whatsoever. I will at least know whether he can go forward or not. But 80% of the time we do accept. Okay, so it's very difficult to say how many backlogs, as long as I don't see the mark sheets. Okay, so don't hesitate. Write it to Deepa, and she can send it across to me, the special
Sure.
files. There's
Yeah.
always some special case, and I'm reachable. I try to answer my email within 24 hours if possible, so that at least you can get back to the student sooner possible and give him other options. Okay, there how many days of classes? Okay, how many days? Normally it's 20 hours per week. So that means the student has to be on the campus maximum, I would say, is 3 days per week. It's not a 5-day program. It's not like an Indian school that they have to go for campus classes every day. Sometimes the classes would be from 8 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m., but it's hardly, I would say hardly. They will be like 4 times a year or 10 times a year maximum. But Indian students who are already grilled, who have studied so hard, who are so who are so academically good, I think for them coming from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. doesn't matter. But it's not all the time. As I mentioned, it's maximum 3 days per week. That's it. Okay. And can you please repeat the deadline for paying deposit? 15 days. The day we accept a student, normally we same, yes, within the day we send out a letter to student, okay, you have been accepted for the MSc in International Management Program. From today on, you get 15 days. From that excludes the weekend, because there are students who takes loan. So we exclude the weekends for them, if you have to be specific about it. Okay, so we tell them from today on 16th of April, 50, that means the end of May, that beginning of May, you have 15 days, but it does not include the weekends if that's the case. Okay, this is what we do. Yes, 15 working days, exactly. Thank you, to be precise. And any other question?
It's a
You all
like
yes,
yes.
go ahead. Yes,
No,
Deepa.
no, you go ahead. What are you
No,
saying?
I said everybody has a speaker. They can just ask me instead of writing. I'm sorry I started Hindi, but I'm gonna answer in English, and it will be good to have your questions directly through microphone. What is CVS? You mean CVC? This is what you mean, Monica? You mean
I think it is CVEC only.
Okay. Okay, CVEC basically is not most of the student they think that it's a tax they're paying to the school. Basically, no, it's for the student in order to apply for the social security, because student gets benefit from the government when they arrive here. For example, for their stay they will get, for the health they will get. So this is basically a tax they go pay to the excuse me, to the government in order to register themselves for the social security. So they are not obliged to pay before. Student can pay CVC after they arrive, and they will be explained the whole tutorial during the orientation day what CVC is, how they're going to benefit, how they're going to proceed for the social security, and how they can apply for different help from the government. Most of the students, I think, to my knowledge, gets €200 minimum for an accommodation from the government. And this CVEC is a part of the whole procedure of the government. So basically, when students pay, it's not our website. It will direct you to the government website. And once they have that receipt, they only have to give it to the school, because the school requires the CVC number. So that if the government contacts us for the social security, we said, yes, the person is registered with us. Any other questions? Please feel free to talk. I'm more than happy to hear you, more than happy to see you. I think that will also allow me to engage with everyone. No? What will the student need to travel to any of the countries for the course during? Yeah, not travel. There will be business tours. Some of the program has business tours in France. Mostly, I would say, sometimes it would be Belgium, it could be Amsterdam, but because these are the country where they can use the same visa, they have no problem traveling. Previously, sometime for the program of MSc in Marketing Strategy and Data Management, the business tour used to be in London. So, but we used to inform the student beforehand that they will have to apply for the visa for students who require visa to travel to London. But since COVID, this has not come. I mean, they have avoided going these countries where they require visa, because even now Europe and UK is separated, Brexit. So mostly it will be within the Europe, and with the same visa, student can travel to 33 countries in Europe.
Like one of my student inquire who was selected for MBA program, like in the program itself, it was mentioned like he will be allowed to go for a business trip. So he asked me like, will it be like any other charges or any other fees would be there for such a trip?
No,
Yeah.
no, it will be, normally it's 3 days, suppose 2 days on place and you come back. Unless the student says, I want to stay 2 more days, then he can talk with the head of the program, because there are students, they are like, oh, I went to Amsterdam, they did the weekend and they said, no, I want to stay 2 more days, then that's their cost and stay. But otherwise, it is all included in the tuition fee, the business tour.
Yeah, okay.
Because I know students always have this, tendency to stay back. Any other questions?
Like Echchha, now I think that we should end the session because it's already a long session, and
I can understand.
if the agents are having any other further questions, they can reach us, okay, anytime, and they can ask us.
No problem, Deepa. Thank you for organizing. Thank you
Yeah,
everyone.
same to you. Thanks for your time today, and thanks for
And
solving all the queries. I would be waiting for the mail regarding that campus France update.
You will shortly receive. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to write to me. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for your
You
time.
all
Have a good day.
have a nice evening. Bye. Bye.
Bye.